Hi, this is Vic Mignogna, voice of Edward Elric in Full Metal Alchemist. Captain Kirk in Star Trek continues. And do you know what the best podcast is? I'm going to tell you. Five-ish Fangirls, yeah!
The tangents as we continue all the way to episode number 82 of the Five-ish Fangirls podcast. After being off for a bit, we're back. Some of us are a little older, literally. Some of us has been all of the above. Welcome everyone to this week. Join us. Let's start off like we do every week by going around the virtual table and see.
This is Brittany in Belvedere.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City.
This is Mitch in Kitchener, Ontario.
And this is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. Hello everyone.
Hello, everyone.
We're back.
It's been a while, so how's everyone been?
We are good. We played catch up before we started recording, but
We did. We did. I guess we should have saved it. I could have told everyone about my Disneyland trip.
If they really want to hear about it.
Yes. Well, maybe it'll be a side trip or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
All I can say is it is indeed the happiest place on Earth.
Yes, it is. And right now it's the Star Warsiest place on Earth.
Yes. Well, that's where we spent most of our time.
I don't blame you one bit.
It was wonderful. We saw stormtroopers and we built lightsabers and droids, and my little R2-D2 droid has Oswald ears, and it's like the happiest little thing. I love it. And if you don't know who Oswald the Lucky Rabbit is, Google it.
Yeah.
And your life will be greatly enriched.
I know who Oswald is.
Yes.
Now I know more about Oswald because I went to the Disney Family Museum on my vacation. I got to learn a little bit more. Both you and I both had somewhat Disney-centric vacations.
We did. Look at that.
Amazing how that works.
You can't go to California and not do something Disney-related. Hello.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Well, but we've both been on vacation and are rested-ish.
Well, ish. Work's kind of been kicking my butt this week, but it's okay.
The vacation is resting. It's the traveling to and from the vacation that kind of throws everything off.
Yeah.
I will. If any of our listeners want to hear about my life version of planes, trains, and automobiles, just message me. I'll tell you all about it.
Oh boy, yes. It's quite the adventure.
Yes, it was. But we're back, and Holly is with us in spirit. Unfortunately,
yes.
Holly is sick. She caught whatever's
going around. I think everybody's getting sick.
Yeah,
or something.
So,
although we got to mention, Brittany did go on a bit of a vacation a few weeks ago.
Oh,
she came out. She came out to Salt Lake to go to my wedding, which was like way surprising and very cool. So.
And you guys met, and you actually
met in person. Yes,
we did.
In the middle of all the chaos, so we found a moment to touch base and say, "Hey, you exist in real life." So hello.
You're not just a voice that comes through my computer every week on Skype.
Yep.
So two of us have met face to face, so I feel like that's a milestone for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I think that's gonna be the way it goes. We'll meet each other in bits and pieces.
Yes.
Until eventually we can all be together once.
Mm-hmm. So. It will happen.
It will happen.
Yes.
Eventually.
Somehow.
I'm telling you, Five-ish Fangirls road trip to Disneyland. Somebody needs to finance that for us.
Patreon supporters.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Mostly.
Mostly.
There are corn dogs with our names on them.
Oh, those corn dogs. Rachel, you were right. Those are heaven.
I know.
And it's not just because they were in Disneyland, although that didn't hurt. The Dole Whips. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We almost got in line for another one, but the line was so long, and it was just for the Dole Whips.
But they're so worth it.
It was hilarious because we're like, let's go get another Dole Whip. We look around the line. This is the line for the Dole Whip? Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to go do something else.
At least you had one.
Yeah, we did get one.
Yeah. So you knew what you were missing.
Yes. But instead, we got slushies, and we got to sit and watch Alice and the Mad Hatter interact with a bunch of kids, and that was worth it.
Yeah.
Mm.
It was cute.
Yeah. Disney magic all abound.
Yes. Anyway.
So this week, because we've been off and among other things, we got a more news-centric episode this week. So we got quite a bit of ground to cover. It's like I haven't been speaking or something. Some ground to cover, but because this is going to be a news-centric episode, we'll do things slightly out of order. And before we jump into all of our news, I would like to give my short, sweet, and to the point, and safe for work review of Deadpool. I got to see Deadpool last week. First order, it is not family friendly. If you haven't figured it out by now, Deadpool is so not family friendly.
It's rated R for a reason.
Yes,
not
it is.
Your 8-year-old child to see it.
Yes.
Apparently some parents forgot about that or something, because I was reading a lot of people seeing the kids and then having to leave within 5 minutes.
I saw matinee, so it was, during the school day, during the work day, so it was all adults in the theater when I saw, and there was probably only 20 people in the theater to begin with, because it was a random Thursday, a 45 a.m. showing. So there were thankfully no children in the audience when I saw it. I will say this, and I told you guys before we started recording that it is R-rated for a reason. It is violent, although the violence is what I would call comic book violence, where the deaths, they're the types of deaths that could never actually happen in real life. So it's like, ooh, but at the same time, it's like, that would never actually happen, so that makes it a little better. There is one sex scene, so you don't have to worry about multiple sex scenes. There's one sex scene and a scene in a strip club. So there's not a whole lot of nudity. Honestly, if you watch Thrones and you're okay with the amount of sex and violence and nudity in Game of Thrones, Deadpool's gonna be nothing, because Game of Thrones is worse. So
that's an interesting gauge. I had not heard that one before.
That's my gauge. So if you're familiar with Game of Thrones and you do not have a problem, Deadpool's gonna be nothing for you as far as the sex and violence and nudity, to be perfectly honest with you. And it is funny. So many good jokes. So many nods to both Ryan Reynolds as a person, his history as far as playing Deadpool and Green Lantern.
Oh, wow.
It is set within the X-Men movie universe, obviously, because not just because Colossus is in it, but it is legit set within the same universe as the X-Men movies, the X-Men franchise. And I guess this is actually being considered an X-Men movie because Colossus and Negasonic Teenage Warhead are in it. Coolest X-Men name ever, even if it is a mouthful.
So I do have one question, though.
Yes.
Does he reference X-Men Origins Wolverine at all? Because Deadpool was in that, but okay, he does.
Yes.
Yeah, because it was Deadpool in name only, as I understand it, and people were very not happy about the way.
Yeah, no, they outright reference it more than once.
Ryan Reynolds talked about when he was promoting the X-Men Wolverine about wanting to do a proper Deadpool movie, and now he got the chance.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yes. Yeah, it is referenced that, the references are just the right amount of references, so it's not
breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah, and then there's a lot of fourth wall breaking, and at one point there is a fourth wall break within a fourth wall break.
Wow.
Whoa, that
see,
made my head
so
hurt.
funny.
now see this because with all this talk about the R rating and people have been wanting, okay, you may do a PG-13 version,
No.
and someone said, well, the only reason to do a PG-13 version was so you could have all the fourth wall jokes, and I'm like, well, couldn't you do like sort of a short spoof that's PG-13 and let Deadpool make all those fourth wall jokes? Because I think that would be funny. But like how they do the Marvel one shots. I know that this isn't the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and I think that's kind of getting lost in all the advertising because people assume that this is the MCU. It's like no, it's Fox and the X-Men and all that kind of thing. And so I think that's where some people who don't know the difference, or who don't know that there's a line of demarcation here, they assume it's an MCU movie, so that's why they're kind of getting all, oh, how could Marvel do this to us? It's like, well, it's not really Marvel,
It's Fox.
It's Fox, but it's like that would be hilarious to have there be a PG-13 version of Deadpool, and all it is like Deadpool cracking jokes about how in an R-rated version I could do this and this and this, or whatever he does. So I'm like, and maybe not a full-on movie, but like a 20-minute short or something on the DVD or something. I don't know.
Maybe, but I mean, even the fourth wall breaks are, some of them are not family friendly. The people that think that the fourth wall break is like a family friendly thing, it's not. So, but pretty much everything he says is just dirty. For one reason or another.
Well, yes. That's why I said don't do a full-on movie of it.
Yeah.
Just do a short little one-off thing about Deadpool making jokes about it. I don't know. About it being PG-13. Just because there was that whole kerfuffle over people saying, oh, why is it rated R? It's like, well, because it's Deadpool, aren't you? I mean, I don't read Deadpool comics, and I know Deadpool is not for kids.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Well, you see enough online on like the various social media of like random comic panels referencing this or that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know here at the what was this, PopCon, or I think it was PopCon, that there's one guy that is a Deadpool cosplayer, and in the last two PopCons he has done. Maybe it's not PopCon, maybe it's Indiana Comic Con, because they go late into the evening. But he's done story time with Deadpool, and it's for 18. It's for 18 and older. So
oh, wow.
Yeah. So not that I expect. As convention season is started up here. Obviously Deadpool is one that you see cosplayed a lot. But most of and I think maybe this is where some of it comes from, is the Deadpool cosplayers, at least the ones that I know of and seen, because they know there are children at the conventions, their Deadpool cosplays are very toned down. So that they're not offending or frightening any of the children that happen to be at the convention. And so parents see these people dressed as Deadpool at these conventions, and then they see the movie, and it's like, well, he's a superhero, and I see these people dressed as him at these conventions, so he can't be that bad. And it's like, no.
Well, and the other thing is Deadpool's costume is so bright, bright red, and it kind of is a little reminiscent, or I don't know, that was the first one that came to my mind. It looks like really scary and mean and stuff. It's like, okay, yeah, we know this guy isn't for kids, but Deadpool, it's bright and red and happy, and like, no, that's not why it's red.
No. Nope, he even flat out says why he wears the red suit. It's even in the trailer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, it's. I thought it was hilarious. I absolutely loved it. Not knowing a whole lot about Deadpool going into it, I loved it, and I laughed so hard throughout the entire movie. The post-credit scene is absolutely brilliant. I know that they were saying there are two post-credit scenes. What it really is the post-credit scene ends and then it picks up again. So it's really it's really one post-credit scene, but it's in like two parts. So once the second bit ends, the movie is done. Stanley's cameo, now I understand why he said it's his favorite he's ever done. Just because of where it occurs in the movie. And yeah, just I could. Ryan Reynolds is loving this, and I can see why. I know, again, it's not part of the MCU, but in general, Marvel is brilliant at casting, and they pick the best people to play these characters that are just, they're the character. They're the actor and the character are not that far removed. When you look at Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans and all that, and those two with Ryan Reynolds on Twitter. I don't know if you guys have seen that. Yesterday Chris Evans tweeted Ryan Reynolds
like Deadpool and Ryan Reynolds like Team Cap.
Yeah, and then Robert Downey Jr. is like, really? Even with all that cussing, and then Chris Evans is like, yeah, just don't tell my alter ego or Kevin Feige or my mother.
Oh, you've seen the little comic that someone drew of Iron Man and Captain America.
Oh, yes, I shared that. I shared that on our Facebook page. Yes, Deadpool's like, guys, how'd you like my movie?
Or misconstruing why Cap said language. He was in World War II. I'm sure he heard tons of language, but he was also in charge of men during that time, so he had to.
Well, yeah.
He was in charge of their conduct, making so that he wanted them how they appeared and stuff.
Yeah.
So he was used to chastising them, and in the heat of the battle in Ultron, it kind of situation. So it's not that he objects to language; it's just sort of a presentability thing.
Right.
Yeah, but it makes for some very good memes.
Yes, it does. And that little comic is just so funny. I've laughed. I think I've laughed more at Cap's.
He looks so disturbed. He's like, so much language. Like you said, the language meme has become a big thing now, and it's a joke unto itself, and it all just combines to be so perfect. Yeah. So, anyway, that's my short, sweet, family-friendly review of Deadpool. Go see it.
Yeah. Don't take your kids.
Yeah, don't take your kids. Be prepared to laugh a lot. I told Brittany, I said, if you're someone that cries when you laugh, bring tissues.
Oh, goodness.
Because you probably will. Very
nice.
Oh, with that, now that we've doing things out of order, let's move on to our truckload of news here with first things first. Like I said, convention season is in our books. It's started because Gallifrey 1 was last weekend, and both Chrissy and I both happened to be in Los Angeles around Gallifrey, but not anywhere close to Gallifrey.
I was trying to get out of Dodge because we'd been docked on a cruise ship all morning, and they wouldn't let us get off till noon, and I was like, I just want to go home.
I was waiting for a flight. I just happened to be in the Los Angeles airport.
Yep.
So I was like, close.
You were closer than I was then, because I was at the harbor, and I was like, let's just go home.
Yeah.
It's been a long couple of weeks. Yeah. Anyway.
So, but that being said, with convention season, obviously announcements for various convention guests. First off, I'm very excited about this. PopCon has been steadily announcing guests, and some of them I'm like, hey, I know who that is, but I that's not that exciting. But they did announce Tara Strong, who by name you may not recognize. If you're
I do.
Yeah, if you're a fan of the Powerpuff Girls,
Yes.
you know who she is.
She
Or
was Bubbles.
she's
I
Bubbles,
love Bubbles.
the Powerpuff Girls. Currently, she is the voice of Twilight Sparkle on My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic. So for people like me who happen to be pony fans, this is very exciting.
Yay. I'm excited for you.
Yeah.
She's been in a lot of things. Just go look at her IMDb page. And
yeah, it's a laundry list.
Most likely she has been in something you have seen, and if you have seen any sort of animation in the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, pretty much on the PopCon page, most people either been excited because of her being the Powerpuff Girls, or she was the voice of Harley Quinn in one of the Batman animated something or others. But you know, us bronies were all like, she's Twilight Sparkle. Without her, the show wouldn't exist. She's kind of the main character.
There you go.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then Salt Lake Fan X has been dropping names here and there and everywhere.
Oh, no kidding. I got home and I was just like, what?
Yeah, really.
After being unplugged for so long.
You're going to be stretched 12 ways a Sunday.
Yeah.
So,
to do.
Yeah. Can't be everywhere. You need a TARDIS is what you need.
The Doctor Who fan experience, or Ultimate Experience as well, and that's like a special, separate ticketed event, and I'm trying to decide, can I afford it? It also depends on when it is, because I also have to work.
Yes.
A couple of those days, so... Yeah, I'm not taking work off again so soon. But anyway, but let's see, FanX has announced... I'll go ahead and do this one, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
It's your con.
Right. It is my con. They have announced William B. Davis, who is a cigarette-smoking man from the X-Files. I've not been keeping up on X-Files, so that doesn't mean much to me, but yay, X-Files fans. George Takei from Star Trek will be there. LeVar Burton from Star Trek Next Gen, and Reading Rainbow, which is what I remember
Reading Rainbow.
So that's exciting. And this one I'm like ridiculously excited for because Goofy is like my favorite ever, and I'll tell you why. I'll have to tell you why some other time. Just since I was a little kid, Goofy's always been my favorite, and I love him. Anyway, Bill Farmer, who is now the voice of Goofy, is going to be there, as well as a bunch of other voice actors who. So that they're doing like what did they call it last year? They did it when they had like Jess Harnell and Rob Paulson and Maurice LaMarche and Tress MacNeille. They did it last time. It was like the Wacky Tunes panel. I can't remember if that's what it's called. But anyway, but they're doing that again, and Bill Farmer is going to be there. And I'm just like, this is going to be awesome. So I've got to find time to go meet Goofy and meet all the doctors and everything else at some point, and Alex Kingston, and it's just going to be crazy. So yay. FanX is taking care of me this year.
Yeah. Very much so. And actually George Takei has also been announced for Planet Comic-Con. So anyone that's headed out to that area for Planet Comic-Con, they are going to have George Takei as well. And then in a somewhat surprising announcement, because the first convention's not even happened yet, but the folks who run Fan Expo Canada apparently decided they needed to make this announcement now. I guess so people have plenty of time to make arrangements, but I'm sure Mitch is probably excited about this, but Stan Lee is going to be at Fan Expo Canada, and this is going, and I think this is probably why they announced it, because it's making like trending on social media and all that, but this is going to be Stan Lee's last Canadian convention appearance. So if you are going to go to Fan Expo Canada and you want to meet Stan Lee, this is your chance, unless you're planning on coming to America.
Well, and because it's his his line is normally busy. It's going to be a lot worse considering this is his last Canadian convention.
Yeah.
So, if you do want to see Stan Lee, bear in mind you're going to have to wait a long time.
Yeah, that may be your convention right there, is trying to see Stan Lee. I mean, sure, have a few other things you want to do in mind, but
the Stan Lee line has been why I haven't really gone to see him. I didn't Fan Expo, and I'm torn between this is like the last chance, and it's not going to be like that much worse because this is the last chance.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, at the very least, you get to see its panel, so you can at least see him talk, even if you don't get to meet him.
It depends on many factors.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
And this far out, who knows what the schedule's gonna, the schedule and his schedule is gonna to be like for the convention and all that. So,
yeah.
But the folks at Fan Expo were like, yeah, we know our other convention hasn't even happened yet, but we want to make this an.
Yeah.
So, Stan Lee has said that this in no way means he's slowing down. It's just he's 93 years old. So obviously,
and I'm like, don't remind us, Stan.
Yeah, he's still out. He's doing American conventions, and obviously doing cameos in the Marvel movies. And doing the red carpets for the Marvel movies. I'm sure we'll see him at the red carpet for Civil War when it comes out in May.
Maybe this just means his passport's expiring and he doesn't want to renew it.
Maybe. I mean, at 93, they're good for 10 years, but is he going to need it for 10 years? We would like to hope he does, but let's be realistic. Unfortunately. Or maybe he just doesn't like going through customs. I don't know.
We'll say that.
Yes.
Going through customs.
We're gonna start a room. We're gonna start a room where Stan Lee doesn't like going through customs.
That's exactly it.
Stan Lee's passport expires. Can't be bothered to renew. That's what we're
I will laugh if it ends up being some kind of
truth.
Yeah.
That's what it turns out to be. He just doesn't want to renew his passport.
Oh my. That would be
I
funny.
don't know, that just popped into my head. I'm like, does he travel out of the country much otherwise?
Stan Lee no longer visiting Canada, leaving Canada to Wolverine and Deadpool. Oh my! So that's exciting and sad at the same time. But Stan Lee is high on my list of people I'd like to see, but hopefully he comes somewhere close to me before he decides to retire completely.
Yeah, well, he's making the round, so it could happen still.
He is. So, conventions. I have my first convention in 3 weeks. I'm so excited.
FanX is in a month.
Yeah.
Just about.
It's here. Convention season is here. All right. Moving on to the 10 o'clock news, unfortunately.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Man, that's sort of an unfortunate placement of that.
Yeah, probably should have moved those first and got them out of the way, but oh well. It is what it is. And some of these are actually, I think, a couple weeks old. We just glossed over them for whatever reason. So.
Well, the last one is.
That one's
a
recent.
A few days ago.
Yeah. But these other two, I think, are a little old. So sorry. You're slacking a little bit, I guess. So
we've been busy. We've had life going on.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
First is a screenwriter, Disney screenwriter Daniel Gerson, passed away recently. He wrote or co-wrote Monsters Inc., Big Hero 6, and he was working on Cars 3 at the time of his passing. And he also did some voice work in Monsters, Inc., Monsters University, and he actually played the desk sergeant in Big Hero 6, so if we remember the scene with Baymax with the tape.
Yes.
and trying to tape up himself.
And Hero's trying to convince him.
Yeah.
It's like, they stole my little microbots.
Yeah.
It's like,
the guy with
sure?
a kabuki mask attacked you.
It is a very cute movie.
Yeah. Obviously a sad loss to the Disney community. And then also we lost Joe Alasky.
Yep.
We're going to go with that. Alasky, sorry. Who was the voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. He passed away at the age of 63. He actually took over from Mel Blanc back in 1989 and actually won an Emmy for voicing Daffy Duck in Duck Dodgers. And he's also the voice of Grandpa Pickles in Rugrats.
Which I had not realized that's who that was.
That Grandpa Pickles and Daffy Duck sound an awful lot alike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like... Well, it's just funny because voice actors, I mean, they can make their voices do anything. I mean, like we were talking about Tara Strong earlier, and she plays, Twilight Sparkle and Bubbles, but then she also plays Timmy Turner in Fairly Odd Parents. So it's like, voice actors can just do so many different things, and it's just with their voice. They can be any age, any gender, any species, really, and do whatever. It's kind of cool. But yeah, that's a tough loss, especially, for a guy who kept Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck going after Mel Blanc passed away. I mean, like, how do you keep those legendary characters still going after their original actor passes? But this Joe Alasky, he did it. So I mean, he did it in. If you'd ever seen a Looney Tunes cartoon produced since 1989, that was him doing the voice. So, and then this next one, it was not unexpected, but it still kind of feels like a bit of a gut punch to me, at least. I don't know how the rest of y'all feel, but this happened. This was a Thursday. The author Harper Lee passed away, and if you remember, she's the one who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird, which is still one of my all-time best favorite books and movies ever. It's like this should be required reading for everyone. Not required reading. This should be something everyone reads and enjoys, not because they don't read it because it's a school project. I mean,
yeah, which is the only time I ever read it, unfortunately.
Well, I'm on my third copy of it right now. I've had to. I don't know what it was. Just in high school, that book it just stuck with me, and I've loved it ever since. And it's not. And I think I've talked about this before on the podcast, like why I love it so much. And it's not. I mean, yes, talking about civil rights and racism and those themes, like those are important themes of the book. But what I love about it is that it's told from the point of view of a little girl who, like, her father is her hero, and he is the one who helps her make sense of the world, and he's the one who kind of and he's he's a widower, and he's doing his best because he's not really a kid person, I guess. So it's just kind of this family just kind of going through this tough time in their lives the best way that they know how, and so it's more the storyline it resonated more than the part about the racism and all that kind of stuff, even though that stuff's still important. But it's more the family stuff is really what struck me the most in that. And then, I mean, and I guess this is kind of big news, or bigger news than I guess we would have realized normally, because last year somebody, I don't know who, published Go Set a Watchman, which is actually To Kill a Mockingbird's earliest drafts. And I haven't read it just because the news around it kind of makes me a little squicky, I guess if that's the right word, because we're not really sure if this is really what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
The implication is that she didn't, and that her sister was protecting her from the publishing company who wanted to publish it, and then her sister died, and the publishing company went ahead and published it.
Well, I don't know if it was the publishing company or if it was some, like, her caretaker. I don't know. The stories conflict. I'm not really sure what to believe, but I haven't read it. I've read, like,
I've
critics.
been avoiding it because I heard that it was published against Harper Lee's will, and I'm all author and autonomy.
Yeah, and honestly, what I have heard about it from people who have reviewed it, it's like To Kill a Mockingbird's better. Just read that, and I'm like, I'm happy with To Kill a Mockingbird. I will gladly keep that one. So yeah, and I'm like, you know, some authors, they write a lot, and there's a lot of books by, you know, 5 or 10 books that they've written, and they're all really good. And Harper Lee, she only really had one great book in it, in her, and that was To Kill a Mockingbird. And I'm like, you know what? She can consider herself a success, and I certainly do, because that's one of the best novels ever written.
Well,
and
she wrote Go Set a Watchman first.
Mm-hmm. That was like the first draft.
It was like the first draft, and then someone suggested she focus on the character as a child, which is where Mockingbird came.
Yeah, and that's what makes it even better. And like I said, that's because I love the character of Scout, and as a young child. And what I've heard is like she's a lot when she's older, she's a lot more bitter and cynical. And I'm like, I'd rather see her as a child and have kind of that brightness of hope, I guess is what you could call it.
Probably why,
which is what makes the book so good.
It's probably why Harper Lee was encouraged to focus more on Scout as a child. Mm-hmm. Because
and that made the book pretty much. Yeah, and it made it into something that everybody still reads, and still, well, not every, well, people, a lot of people. I don't want to say everybody. A lot of people still read it and love it now, and everything. But if you don't have time to read it, watch the movie. The movie is excellent. Of course, I like Gregory Peck, so that helps. Anyway, but yes, Harper Lee's passed away, and you know, I kind of feel like she'd had some health problems, so it's probably for the best. But you know, it's still sad, and I still I felt quite sorrowful, mournful at losing an American treasure, pretty much. But we have her book, and it's amazing. So go read that in honor of her memory.
Sounds good. All right. That's it for the 10 o'clock news. Thank goodness.
Let's go on to something more fun.
Let's go on to something more fun. There was... I just think you can call this a trailer, because this is actually shorter than the trailer. Because it was a Super Bowl commercial, essentially what it was, but it actually got really... I never saw this during the Super Bowl. I saw it before when Marvel released it online. But we've got a new teaser/trailer for Civil War, which was, again, real short. But we do see, assuming that what you see in the trailer as far as who is standing next to who is like legit, as these are the sides and these are the, essentially your teams. We've now seen Ant-Man in this new trailer, and Ant-Man is Team Cap, at least as far as this trailer is concerned. So, which actually does not surprise me, considering Scott is working for Hank Pym, and Hank Pym does not have the best history with Stark. So it makes kind of sense that Scott would side with Hank, and Hank's gonna side with whoever's not on Tony Stark's side.
That does make sense.
So, still no sign of Spider-Man, which may or may not be surprising for most people. A lot of people are speculating that Spider-Man's going to be like a post-credit thing, that we're not going to see Spider-Man for the entire movie.
That's like, that'd be like in Force Awakens. Like, we know Mark Hamill's in the movie, but we don't see him till the last minute.
Mm-hmm. So, maybe, maybe not. We don't know. We'll find out in May. Or if we get any sort of, clips or teasers or commercials between now and when the movie's released and Spider-Man happens to be in one of them. Who knows? But it's one of those, I think they released it for the Super Bowl, and it was a very this side versus this side, because it plays well to the whole football thing. It's one team against another. So, but they've also released that if you use the hashtags with team insert character name here, that you get the little emojis that go with that character. So if you put like hashtag team Hawkeye, you get a little emoji Hawkeye, So now you can start tweeting and Instagramming using the hashtags, and you get the little emojis. Join Chris Evans and Robert Downey Jr., who are using the Team Iron Man, Team Captain America incessantly on their various social medias. And Robert Downey Jr. said Team Iron Man has cookies, has snacks. So, yeah, I'm leaning towards that direction. And till Captain America can entice me with something else, I can be swayed with food. Join the dark side. They have cookies.
Until Cookie Monster comes up and realizes they lied. Dark side no have cookies.
Until I'm told otherwise, I'm going with this. I'm going with the team that's got the snacks. Whatever. Anyway. This made me remember, I've got Girl Scout cookies in my freezer. I know what I'm having when we're done recording. Anyway.
If only you could share cookies through Skype.
Yeah, I know. Except they're Girl Scout cookies. Me no share.
Oh, hey, I still have piles of cake left over from the wedding. Not wedding cake, our cake from our reception.
Wait, there was tons of that.
I know how much we ended up with, so I'm like, on the sweets front, I'm good.
Yeah.
I got cheesecake.
We ended up with lots of cupcakes after my sister's wedding. And we told them that they started to go bad.
Oh gosh. Yeah, we didn't save the top of our wedding cake. We saw that and we're like, nope, we're eating that. Because it's gonna go bad. Anyway. Next bit of news.
Doctor Who news is Stephen Moffat has said that there is going to be an extra episode of Doctor Who for Series 10. So instead of being what is it normally? 11? No, 12 in a Christmas special?
Well,
13 plus
a Christmas
13
episodes plus a Christmas special, but lately it's been 12.
Yeah, okay, so 12 in a Christmas special, but Stephen Moffat has said that he's got 14 plus he's saying Sherlock films, because each episode of Sherlock is an hour and a half long. So it's like a short film.
I saw that and I laughed. I was like, yeah, they basically are movies.
Yeah, so which means
like everyone complains about how short the Sherlock seasons are. I'm like, they're an hour and a half.
It's not 4.5 hours of Sherlock. What more do you want?
I'm like, yeah, I mean, this is British TV we're talking about. They don't,
Yeah. Which Sherlock is coming eventually. We've all seen Benedict is still busy making Doctor Strange, if you've seen the paparazzi video and photos. So yeah, 14 episodes of Doctor Who. What that means is whether it'll be an actual extra episode or if that will be... Because we'll get the Christmas special this year and then season 10 next year, if that means through the Christmas special next year.
I'm guessing he will, because everything I've heard of the changeover indicates that Chris Chibnall's taking over with Series 11 in 2018.
Yeah.
So I don't know for sure, but I'm banking that Moffat's going to do the 2017 Christmas special, and then Chibnall will start with Series 11 2018.
Yeah.
So that's probably what he means.
Yeah. It's just the way Moffat said it. He says, ahead of me this year, I've got 14 Doctor Who's and 3 Sherlock films. So...
Yeah. Well, you know, and take into account, I've noticed this whenever we get quotes from Moffat, is like, it's the way he says it and not necessarily what he says. So if there was like video of him saying this, we could kind of like, you know, like his tone of voice, his body language when he's talking about this. And I know it's ridiculous. We're saying, you know, we're trying to discern what he means through, you know, voice inflection and stuff and dissecting that. It's like, what does he really mean? 14 episodes. It's like,
we're grasping. Episodes. It's like, there's no Doctor Who this year until Christmas. We're grasping at straws.
We're desperate, and they took it away off of Netflix and Hulu from us.
Yeah.
I will end my sentence there.
Yeah, I'm not starting on that again.
Yeah, let's not. Okay. Anyway, so Moffat's got 14 more episodes before his tenure is up, and then it's off to whatever Chris Chibnall has in store for us. Mm-hmm. That's the takeaway here.
Yeah.
Yep. We'll take what we can get.
Yes. In the meantime, Big Finish is our friend.
Yes.
Not that they weren't before, but now they're even more our friend.
They're our main supply.
I'm like, they're our dealer. It's like, help, we need another hit.
Them and the Titans comics.
Yeah.
I've been reading those. Yeah.
And Candy Jar Books with the Lethbridge Stewart stuff. Candy Jar Books
is doing some... Which, have you started Mutually Assured Domination yet?
Fuck. Okay, so I didn't have it on... Because I took my iPad with me, so I'd have something to read, but I forgot that I didn't have Beast of Fangirls.
Download books onto the iPad.
Well, no, I have that one. I have that one hard copy. Won it from the contest from Traveling the Vortex, so I didn't bother buying it, and I'm still I'm kind of weird. I'm like, if I have it on hard copy, why do I need to buy it on ebook? It's just the way my brain works. And I didn't have any Wi-Fi while I was gone. So I reread The Martian.
That works too.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now you can read The Martian and you hear Matt Damon's voice in your head.
Yes. Well, that was one of the movies they played on our cruise, because they had like movies under the stars on the top deck where the pool is, and they have a big screen, and one of the movies we saw was The Martian. Nice. Again, we were all like, yeah, we can go see that again. Not a problem. The other one we saw was Spectre, which was weird.
Yeah.
It's the only Daniel Craig Bond movie I've seen, so I'm
sorry.
I have no frame of reference for anything going on. Jared hadn't seen it either, so we were just like, it was something we hadn't seen yet.
Yeah. We'll discuss that after.
Okay, we'll discuss that after. Anyway.
I just got Mutually Assured Domination started because they're reviewing it. They're doing a spoiler-filled review. I better read it so I don't get spoiled.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so behind on the Vortex podcast. It's not even funny.
I don't even care about spoilers. I'm so spoiled on all the books. It doesn't matter.
When they did Beast of Fangrock, I was in a position where I was like out of money for the month, so I had to wait till I got paid so I could buy the book. So I had to put off listening to that one until I was able to buy and read Beast of Fangrock.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta get back. I gotta get back on the Vortex wagon. I've fallen off.
So I bought it and I'm reading it. So,
I know they did wish you many congratulations on the episode I listened to, which is not the most
Oh, okay.
recent episode, because I'm behind too.
Oh, yeah. I feel bad because I feel like
Sorry,
I've abandoned them. That's just, life's been crazy.
Yeah, it's all good. They
Yeah,
understand.
but anyway.
We understand. It's all good. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. This
to-
one's cool.
Yeah.
Because I just binged. This was what I was catching up on last night
Yeah.
while I was waiting for the stupid election results to come in. Anyway, we're not talking politics. But
Yeah.
anyway, I was binge watching like Arrow and Flash and Legends of Tomorrow because I'd missed so many episodes over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But this bit of news: the Flash and Supergirl are going to cross over, which I'm way behind on Supergirl too. So whatever. And it's funny because I'm looking at the article, or the excerpt of the article we have in our show notes here, and they're all like, how are they going to justify, Flash crossing over to Supergirl, because they haven't mentioned like aliens in either Flash or Arrow or even Legends of Tomorrow. But I'm like, well, they've already done it because there's an episode. I'll spoil a little bit for you guys if you're not caught up, but. There's an episode where Flash, or where Barry and a couple other people go to parallel universe Earth, or like call it Earth 2, and while they're going through like the kind of vortex swirly thing, they see a few snippets of other places, and one of them they see Supergirl. She's flying by on her thing, and I'm like, oh hey, they got Supergirl in there. I figured that they were going to bring her into the universe, even though she's on CBS rather than the CW. But it's the same production team that does Flash and Arrow and Legends, so it's like, well, why wouldn't they bring her in? It's all DC property.
Flash and Supergirl are very similar in, like, especially with the introduction.
Yeah.
The introductions of Flash and Supergirl parallel each other very closely, only diverging for the actual content of the opening spiel.
So, yeah, I mean, I just think it's funny that they're all like, oh, how are they going to do this? I'm like, well, they'll do it. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Apparently, traveling between parallel planets is not uncommon. So
that there was going to be a crossover, so that people would realize that that's what was going on when they see Supergirl in the thing when they travel to Earth 2.
Yeah, I bet you that's what it is. Well, and they brought in Constantine too, and he was on NBC, and which has nothing to do with either CBS or CW. I mean, at least CBS and CW are owned by the same people or by the same company, so that makes more sense. But they even got Constantine in there, and so they're I keep saying DC's got the TV thing pretty well in hand. I mean, their movie universe is shaky at best, although Suicide Squad looks like it's going to be fun.
It does.
Yeah, but TV DC properties, they're doing all right for themselves. So, and they did mention there was a line in the pilot of Legends of Tomorrow where Rip Hunter says, "I've seen." What does it say? I've seen Men of Steel die and Dark Knights fall, and it's like, oh, haha, that's what you did there.
Or was it the other way around? Like,
or it might have been the other way around. I can't remember exactly. It
was something like that.
Men of Steel,
it was
Dark Knights. I can't remember now. I'd have to look it up. But it's they mentioned Men of Steel and Dark Knights. So who else could that be?
Really?
no idea. Never heard of them.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Speaking of DC's TV presence, I still need to get caught up on Gotham.
It comes back a week from tomorrow.
Yeah, but I'm still on like season 1. And I was looking at my Netflix thing, and I think I paused like halfway through an episode and went off to do something else, and that's gonna be interesting when I go back. But I've been focusing on Star Trek because I want to get it watched in time for the new movie.
Oh, you've got time.
I know I've got time. I've also got a lot left to watch.
Yes.
But I think I can manage it if I do like a couple episodes a day, at least.
Yeah, that'll work.
And I've already watched my couple for today, so.
Yay! Yeah, we're still making our way through DS9, and I am enjoying it more than I thought I would.
Where are you in DS9?
We are. It's the episode called Whispers. We're partway through it. We had to stop. It.
Can you give
Jared just yelled from the other room, "O'Brien must suffer." Because there's a requisite number of those kind of episodes in each season. I've been led to believe. Oh, there's 3 in a row. He's telling me now. So, are we in the middle one or? Yes. Okay, yeah, we're right in the middle of a run of 3 episodes of O'Brien Must Suffer.
So what season?
Season 2.
Oh, that's way at the beginning. I'm on
we're still getting there, so I know.
I'm on season 6 of DS9 and 4 of Voyager.
Okay. Well, that kind of folds into our next bit of news.
Yeah, really. That's a nice segue. Thanks.
Well, we found this out it came out while we were on our honeymoon. We were actually on our way to the Disney park, and one of us was checking Facebook, and I was like, "Oh, hey, Star Trek! It's got a new showrunner," and it's a guy named Brian Fuller, who has actually written for DS9 and Voyager, and when I asked Jared, I was like, "Do you know who this guy is?" He's like, "Let me look it up." And he looked up real quick which episodes he's written. He's like, "Oh, those are really good episodes," but he didn't tell me which ones they were because they were too spoilery. And so I was like, "Okay, well, I'll take your word for it that those are good episodes." So new Star Trek series coming back to TV. Brian Fuller's gonna run it. Sounds like it's a good choice. Alex Kurtzman, writer and producer on the first 2 new Star Trek movies, says that what's his quote? Okay, here it is. Bringing Star Trek back to television means returning it to its roots, and for years those roots flourished under Brian's devoted care. His encyclopedic knowledge of Trek canon is surpassed only by his love for Gene Roddenberry's optimistic future, a vision that continues to guide us as we explore strange new worlds. So, looks like series will launch in early 2017 with a preview.
I just went to his IMDb page, and he wrote one of the best regarded Heroes episodes. Season 1, episode 17, Company Man.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they didn't. This doesn't note his work on Heroes at all, but that's good to know. But he's also worked on Hannibal and
I was just looking.
But this is interesting. I had not heard this tidbit. Is that the preview of the new Star Trek TV series is actually going to air on CBS, and then it's going to go exclusively to the CBS's online streaming.
I've seen both of his DS9 episodes, and they were quite good.
Okay. Don't say anything more, because apparently I cannot be spoiled on this.
I just watched one of his Voyager episodes.
Oh, okay.
I think it's his first Voyager episode. So.
Oh. That's good that they're bringing in people that have a history with the franchise.
Yeah, because that's kind of been the concern lately. Is like everybody wants to bring Star Trek back to TV, but nobody actually wants to do it, or they can't find somebody that has the love of it. Like I keep going back to Doctor Who because they've both been on TV for roughly the same amount of time, and like Doctor Who, the people who are running it now are the ones who grew up with it, and I'm like, well, where's that for Star Trek? And so now we've kind of found that in this Brian Fuller guy, so hopefully he does a good job. I'm sure he will.
Mm-hmm. I think having a fan with shows that have the history like this is probably a very good thing.
Yeah.
So, well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah. Speaking of fans who are now running the asylum, as it were, J.J. Abrams wants you to make your own Star Wars movie. And yeah, you heard that right, people.
Yeah.
They've announced the Star Wars. Almost said Star Trek. Oh boy, that got me in trouble. Star Wars Fan Film Awards, and the competition is you make a short film based on the characters and stories of Star Wars in 5 minutes and submit it by April 24th.
Mm-hmm.
And then there will be awards for different categories: best animation, visual effects, nonfiction, short. Films will be posted online for Star Trek fans or Star Wars. So along with them, and then the winners will be announced at Star Wars Celebration.
And
So that sounds.
It sounded horrible. I don't know if that was just me or if that was.
That was.
Oh, sorry, you didn't hear me at all.
Yeah, it was very garbled. It's probably Skype, I'm sure.
Oh, darn you, Skype.
Yeah, that's okay. It's the gremlins in the Skype machine.
Okay, well, someone else do it, because apparently my Skype hates me. So I went through that whole description, and you didn't hear a word of it. Okay.
No, it's okay. I mean, I know what you said, but I'm also looking at the notes right in front of me, too. So.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Apparently I'm choking on it. Thank you, Skype.
Skype use.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway.
This has been something that's been going on, I guess went on before, and then they stopped because of the history of fan-made films that they wanted to pick it up again. So they announced it was coming back, and they did the first, I guess, contest at Celebration, the last Celebration, last year. But you can enter, go online, look at all the rules, as far as length and all the parameters and everything. And I don't know as far as like the winners, because I know that they said they'll announce the winners of the convention in London, whether the winners get to go to the convention or,
well, that would be a nice prize.
Yeah, it would be. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, getting an award is cool, but it's like to actually go to the convention and have the award presented to you there.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
Yeah, that would be fun. So, like I said, go. We'll put the link in the show notes. Go read all the rules and the fine print before you start putting your time and effort into it and realize that you don't qualify, because that would be bad.
Yeah. Although you could post your video online anyway, and people would be like, "Hey, this is awesome." Well, we hope people would say it was awesome.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, people are very rude.
Yeah.
Which the internet, rude people, that never happened.
No, really, never, ever,
never, ever.
The internet is full of nice people. Look at us.
We're very nice.
Yeah. It's all good. So, but that is it for the Lisa news that we have. I'm sure we've probably missed something or other. But
yeah. Well, yesterday, this is the other thing I was looking up while I was waiting for election results to never show up. Yesterday was Once Upon a Time. They did a VIP 100th episode celebration, and they had a private screening of the premiere of season 5B, which is actually the 100th episode of the show. So and there were a lot of reviews and red carpets and pictures and stuff. And Colin O'Donoghue was there, and he was adorable and dorky and just plain wonderful there. And I was like, oh, I'm glad you exist.
And I know we should.
Yeah, it looked like a good time was had by all.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, so just that much closer. For by all accounts, what I've been able to see of like teasers and set reports and things like that, which I haven't seen as many as I usually get to see, but I've seen a few. I think I'm going to enjoy this story arc when they go to the underworld.
Yes.
Something about that poster of Hook looking over the flaming apple. Yeah, I got a good feeling about this.
Oh. And I guess I know we shared it on our Facebook, but I guess we can do a little squee for the Charmings in real life. We've known that Ginny was expecting, but we now know it's a little boy.
Yay! So I'm sure they'll work that into a storyline somehow. Emma will get another baby brother.
So exciting.
Maybe this other one, maybe would actually start growing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe. Alrighty then.
Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
It feels good to get back in the swing of things, and after the very like this week, work's been very hectic and heavy, and I guess that's just kind of how it is when you come back from vacation. But I have to say, it's been very refreshing and relaxing to come back and podcast with you ladies again. I have.
Well,
I didn't realize how much I missed it till I sat down and started looking at the news list. I'm like, oh, I'm back. Oh.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back into the hopefully the more regular format next week.
Well, these news heavy episodes are fun to do.
Yeah.
When time, when situation warrants it. So I will never complain about it.
Yeah.
It's just it's a nice way to get a variety of topics to talk about in one episode.
Yeah. But if anyone wants to jump in over the next few weeks, subject to change, of course, just like everything else.
That's how we roll.
Yep.
That's our format.
Right now, though, the plans are written in pencil, of course. So next week, hopefully, we will be discussing the rest of the season of the X-Files, because we were halfway through when we discussed the season was halfway done when we discussed it already, because it's so sinking short.
Which I'm thinking we're going to see William in the last episode.
Well,
based on everything I've seen this season.
It's tomorrow as we're recording, so we'll find out. We'll find out tomorrow night.
If we don't see William in the finale, I will be disappointed.
Yeah.
I did catch one episode of X-Files while we were on our honeymoon. And I was like, okay, this
only
is
5 more to go.
Well, it was like right in the middle, and it was like Scully's mother was dying.
Yeah.
That was the one I saw, and I was like, oh, okay, this is... And I never watched any of the original X-Files series, so I know nothing.
Yeah. You're fine.
Okay.
No. So we'll be discussing the X-Files next week, because the finale is tomorrow as we're recording this. And then the following week, we will be talking Agent Carter, because Peggy has another 2-hour block this week, and then the finale is next week. So
farewell, Peggy.
Peggy
feels like she just got here.
I know, but with Peggy leaving, that means Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is returning.
Woohoo!
So it's not we get a lot of S.H.I.E.L.D. A lot of shit.
Well, I'm not caught up. That's the other thing I gotta get caught up on.
Yeah.
Why I'm trying to be quiet.
Yeah. And then beyond that, we'll see because then stuff starts coming back and it comes back as like a deluge.
It's like drinking from a fire hose.
Yeah. And then I've got the convention in Lexington in 3 weeks, so I have to tell you guys all about that. If I'm
in a month.
If I'm not in a hospital in Kentucky somewhere on oxygen because I hyperventilated in front of Colin Baker.
Oh.
Chauncey was all like, Chauncey wasn't sure if he actually wanted to go with me to the convention. He would go with me to Lexington. He's like, if the weather's nice, maybe I'll go like exploring a state park or something. I'm like, but then you won't be there to witness me meeting Colin Baker again and all the glory that it probably was.
Chauncey, you need to be there to catch your wife when she passes out. Yeah. Come on.
Well, someone needs to be there to witness, hopefully what will be a positive reaction from Colin Baker in my Sixth Doctor cosplay.
Oh, good.
Outfit,
yes, I saw that, and I'm like, that looks so cool.
I know, I'm so excited to wear it. It's a few more finishing touches, and it will be done.
Yay. That's such a good feeling.
I'm so excited. I'll have lots to talk about after that, so...
Yes.
So, and schedule's subject to change.
Yep. And if you, dear listener, have anything you want to say about any upcoming topic or past topic or current topic or just any kind of topic you think that we would be interested in hearing about, please drop us a line. You can find all our contact information at the5ishfangirlspodcast.blogspot.com. You can find our links to our Facebook page, our Twitter, our Tumblr, our Instagram, Pinterest, YouTube, iTunes, and Patreon accounts all there. And you can also email us. Our email address is 5ishfangirls@gmail.com. 5ish is spelled FIVEISH and then fangirls@gmail.com. And we'll get those emails and comments on our Facebook page because that's where I spend most of my time, and it's nice to get a Facebook notification, and it's like, oh, something new's on the Facebook page, or someone's commented, and I'm like, oh, that makes me happy because usually my Facebook notifications are work related, but then I see one from our Facebook, and I'm like, oh, yay, something happy and joyful. Not that I don't enjoy my job, it's just lately it's been a chore. Election years kind of do this to me. They suck the life out of me, which is why I need my geeky fangirly thing outlets more than ever. And what's sad is everybody asks, like people ask me, because I've been meeting a lot of my in-laws family and extended family, and they all ask me what I do, and they all think they all immediately start talking politics with me. I'm like, whoa, I'm off now. I'm off. This is after hours now. I want to talk about something fun. But I'm too polite to say no, so I'm like, yeah, that. But anyway. So I'm like, can I tell you about my trip to Disneyland? Because I'll talk about that all day.
Which we were. We had to force ourselves to stop so that we could record this episode.
Yeah, in fact, that probably could have been an episode.
It may need to be, because it's you, me, and Chauncey, because we've all been recently, so we just need to sit and chat about it.
I think you're right.
We'll make it a side episode or something.
Yeah. I still haven't told you about my Stitch plushie. It's Stitch cosplaying as Yoda. And we didn't find those until the last day after we got off It's a Small World, and we walked out through the gift shop, and we're like, oh, they have Disney characters as Star Wars. I got Stitch as Yoda, and Jared got Mickey Mouse as an X-Wing pilot. They're so cute. And I haven't told you about the t-shirts either.
You tell us after.
I know, sorry.
Oh my. Oh, well, with that. Before Chrissy starts singing "It's a Small World," let's sign off for this week.
I think it's too late for that.
Uh-oh.
Okay, I won't because then YouTube will take it down, so I won't.
No. Copyright.
Before we get into all that kind of trouble, this is Brittany and Beverly saying goodnight.
This is Chrissy in Salt Lake City, not singing "It's a Small World" after all.
This is Rich saying goodnight from Kitchener, Ontario.
This is Rachel in Indianapolis, Indiana. I actually met the guy that wrote "It's a Small World" once, so I could pull a favor, maybe make sure we don't get paid for copyright. I don't know, maybe. It's a small world. No.
You have been listening to the 5-ish Fangirls podcast. Any and all movies, books, games, and other forms of media mentioned are owned and operated by the respective copyright holders. No copyright infringement is intended or implied.